Okay, I'm going to call to order the City of Menasha Board of Public Works. Clerk Aliazi, can you please take roll call?
Alderman Taylor.
Here.
Alderman Sevenick.
Here.
Alderman Langdon.
Here.
Alderman Kruger.
Here.
Alderman Tom Grady.
Here.
Alderman Ted Grady.
Here.
Alderman Rapella.
Here.
Alderman Nichols.
Hey, first thing up on the agenda is the minutes to approve for the August 6, 2018 meeting. Do we have a motion? Alderman Ted Grady.
Yes, I'd like to move for a motion to accept the minutes from August 6, 2018.
We have a motion, is there, and a second for Alderman Tom Grady. Is there any discussion? See none, can we, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Minutes are accepted. Due to, we have two people in the audience, so one has to be in Chicago, we're gonna move down to discussion item number 2 then, and then the discussion item number 5 right after that, and then go back up to communications. Yes, yes, you can. Okay.
I'd like the attorney to rule on it. I can resolve it in 2 seconds. Mr. Chairman, I move to suspend the rules to take up item 2 first.
Okay, any objections? Okay, we're taking up number 2.
I asked for a question. I asked for the attorney to rule. I suspended the rules and moved to item 2.
Item 2 is a street use application for Community First Fox Cities Marathon. Alderman Taylor, we're moving on with the meeting. Street use application, Community First Fox Cities Marathon, presented by Myron Construction, Sunday, September 23rd, 2018, 7 a.m. to 2 p.m. from Community First Credit Union. Do we have a motion? Alderman Ted Grady.
Yes, I'll move for a motion for the street use application for Community First Fox Cities Marathons presented by Myron Construction to be held Sunday, September 23rd, 2018, 7 a.m. to 2 p.m.
Second.
We have a motion and a second by Alderman Tom Grady. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, can we take roll call?
Motion carried on roll call 8-0.
Moving down to action item number 5, the recommendation to award the Menasha Utilities North Side Circuit 3-5-3 feeder replacement, J&R Underground for $45,314. Director Radomski, do you have any comments?
I believe a representative from Menasha Utilities is here to explain that project.
Okay. Ask for unanimous consent to hear from Steve.
I'll move for unanimous consent.
Okay. Any objections? So moved. Go ahead, sir.
You might have to push the big metal button.
There it is. It's on.
All right, thanks. Back in January, our Circuit 1353 feeder out of a Northside substation, it's an underground feeder, failed. We're looking to rebuild that feeder, and that's what this for J&R Underground is, for the installation of the underground portion of it.
Okay. Are there any questions? Alderman Taylor.
Yeah, I would just like to say, I don't know why this Menasha Utilities, when they have people here, it's always the last on the agenda. It should be moved up as a courtesy to them. And I don't know why it always shows up at the end.
Alderman Sevenick.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. At this time, I'll move for the recommendation to award Menasha Utilities Northside Circuit 13-5-3 feeder replacement, J&R Underground for $45,314.
Second.
We have a motion and a second by Alderman Tom Grady. Is there any further discussion? Alderman Nichols.
Thank you. There were 3 bids that came in for the project. 2 prices were similar, and the third was significantly.
Two of them were significantly higher.
Two of them are significant higher. You're right.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yep.
So the one here is the lower one. I just wanted to be sure that with that difference in pricing, you're confident that you're getting what you need from that project.
Yes, the bid price that J&R offered was about $2,000 difference than what we predicted. The other pricing, the companies are very large companies. They look for longer-term projects, so their mobilization cost is much higher to come into town than J&R. We have used J&R in the past as well.
Great, thank
So
you.
I am confident and comfortable with their bid.
Thank you.
Is there any more discussion? Seeing none, can we have a roll call?
Thank you.
Motion carried on roll call 8-0.
Moving back up to communications, item number 1 is the Main Street parking. Is there anybody have any discussion on the Main Street parking? Alderman Taylor.
We had a discussion a couple of weeks ago, and this came to light that there was a change on the parking on Main Street, and Alderman Sevenick asked that it be placed on the agenda. And with that, there should have been some information on how this happened or when this happened, and I don't see any information in our packet here that tells us how this just happened with the change. How did this happen? This change happen? This body up here did not do it.
Mayor Marcus would like to respond.
As it says in the memo, following this direction from both elected officials and the public, upon review of the 60% drawings with the DOT, it was made clear that removing parking on the east end of Main Street was unacceptable. The DOT subsequently proposed a plan that maintains the same number of on-street parking spaces that are currently provided. So
When did this happen?
DOT removed it, and we said that was not acceptable. So the DOT is the one that removed it, and we told them that we wanted it the same way as it was.
There's a lot of
originally.
things. There was a lot of things that weren't acceptable. But when did this happen, and where's the documentation that said this was changed?
I'm not sure what you're asking.
Well, I'm asking, how did the parking get put back onto Main Street?
The parking was on Main Street. The DOT proposed removing the parking, and we said that the parking should remain the way it was based on public comments, based on common council comments, and based on the review of the project.
But the last time they were here, their drawings all showed, and the drawings that were handed out all showed there was no parking. That was a surprise to all of us.
And those were not complete drawings at that point. So if you would like to make a motion to remove the parking and give them different direction, you definitely could do that.
Mayor, you know that that's not even what I'm talking about.
So I'm
You
not-
know how strong I push for this downtown, for the people that downtown, the businesses
Excuse
that
me, Alderman
downtown.
Taylor?
You know
What-
exactly how much I push for that.
We agree on this,
And you want to feed me some other words in my mouth, go ahead.
Mr.
But it's
Taylor?
not what I'm saying, Mayor.
Mr. Taylor, we both agree on this. I'm not sure what your problem is.
My problem is, there was a discovery when we were talking about the bridge. You're the one that brought it up and said the parking was put back on. In all the drawings we had, that this body had, and the public had, and the businesses had, there was no parking on Main Street. And it was never given to us in any form that there was a parking put on. The discovery one was a couple weeks ago, when I said something, you made a comment that it was put back on, that you talked to the DOT and it was put back on. And that's why we're here today with this parking situation, to find out how do you make changes like this? Certainly, I'd like to call and make some changes, and but then again, it'd be micromanaging like you.
Alderman Sevenick.
Thank you. Yeah, I had some concerns. I might have missed it during your debate here, but when was this decided? On what day? Was it a month ago? Was it 2 years ago? Something like that, or what?
More like a month ago.
I think it was
Oh.
about 6 weeks ago or
so
so, because I
that-
think it was before my two girls were born. So I think we had the meeting just before
Everything's
then.
based
so-
on that now.
Everything is.
I can understand Alderman Taylor's frustration because, it might have affected some of our decisions up here if we knew exactly what was happening with this project. I know that a lot of my objection to Project J was the fact that we were losing this significant parking in the downtown. And yes, so the public understands, Alderman Taylor and the mayor are on the same page. They're agreeable, but I guess the difference is that there was a lack of communication with this body to understand that. And that's why I asked that this be put on the agenda, because there's a feeling sometimes that things are done without our knowledge and funds are spent without our knowledge and all those types of things. So I just think this was a positive thing that the mayor did, and I'm in favor of this. I commend him for taking this action, but and Josh, if you played a role in it also. So I just thought I had to say something so the public didn't think that we were, like upset or something. We're actually happy, but we want to communicate this to the business community because a lot of them still thought that they were losing some parking down there.
And I think it was very clear from both the council and the business community all along that that parking was to stay, and we felt as staff and myself that we were following out the direction that the council and the business community had given us all along. So we were rather surprised when this became an issue.
Alderman Taylor.
Director Ramadowski, do you have that document from the state that said they reinstated this parking?
We have seen the revised plans that do show the updated parking. A portion of those plans are shown on that letter, the portion that's pertinent to that parking.
And why wasn't that shared with this body or the downtown? As important as this was through this whole process, why isn't something like that shared? Why did it come out of just a discussion about something else?
I don't believe that it was hidden or anything. It came out of a discussion that took place relatively shortly after those changes were made. I mean, I want to say that the discussion took place about a week or two after we had even seen those plans. So we didn't even have a chance to necessarily bring those to council as a changed document.
Well, the last plans that the public, the business people were in the back room here, they saw that there was no parking. All the plans we've seen, when was that going to come to light to the public?
And at the time that we had that public information meeting, those were the plans that the DOT was using. The DOT has since changed those plans since that public information meeting.
When was the public and this body going to know about these changes?
We probably would have brought at least some of that forward at the 60% plan stage, which is coming up here shortly. We didn't, feel it was necessary to bring it the instant that we found out about this change.
Okay, and then what else is there? What other changes are there?
Nothing that I know of is.
Okay, and the 60% is when?
I do not know the exact date of that.
I would like the businesses downtown to be notified when the 60% is, I think it's their livelihood. And that's why it takes something like this so important, that just in a conversation it pops out, oh yeah, that was changed. Now, these people down there, there's some that were thinking about going somewhere else because of this parking situation. That's how important that this is. And I take it very serious for the businesses, for the people, for our city. And that's how important it is. And it's just not something to be looked over lightly. And I appreciate whatever work the mayor did on this and got out there. And I'd like to see some other things change, but thank goodness we got this parking situation resolved, because we can't afford to lose any more stalls on that 200 block of Main Street there. So if there is a document, I'd like that to be shared, that change took place.
Director, to quell the concerns, would you be able to supply the revised plans for the parking for this committee at the next committee meeting?
We can provide what we have. Those are not official 60% documents at this point, but we can revise with what we have.
I greatly appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mayor.
Alderman Taylor, you just stated that there were businesses that were going to leave the community because of this parking situation. Could we please know who those businesses are so that we could talk to them? I'm sure that the community development director and myself and possibly Public Works would like to talk to them to ensure that their fears are diminished.
Is there any other discussion? Seeing none, let's move on to communication number 2 for the recycling calendar. Director Radomski, can you please brief us on that, please?
This is just our proposed recycling calendar for 2019 for your information. If you have any comments on it, you can definitely take those into consideration, but this is just for your information so you guys know ahead of time before that calendar does come out.
Thank you. Alderman Sevenick.
So are we going to change this? And how are we going to provide this to the public? Because you know, this was a big issue with me at the beginning of the year when you first came on, and I think it was kind of poo-pooed, and I think you guys realize how big of an issue it is because people are just thinking that it's every other week, and it's not. And the mayor provided me a very nice map, and I took it around my neighborhood so that they would know personally at my own personal expense. So I appreciate him doing that for me. But I think that just putting it in a newsletter was not an effective way of handling it. And especially with the stickers, and I hope I'm not off base, Mr. Chairman, but this, along with this is going to be the stickers. And I know that a number of people claim they never got their stickers because it came through that newsletter. And the thing is, not everybody is community-minded as we are. And when they saw the newsletter, it went into the garbage. So if they didn't get this, they didn't get their stickers. So I'll let you go. You're nodding a lot, so you want to address it, so.
And I don't know if the mayor wants to touch on this as well, but we were going to, in 2 weeks, bring communication to the Board of Public Works that instead of doing a Horizon newsletter, we are looking at doing a calendar type mailing so that it's a calendar that people can put on their fridge with all of the different events and dates for the city. So that's where the recycling calendar and the stickers would be attached to that.
Okay.
Alderman Taylor.
Thank you. Are we approving this schedule tonight, this 2019 recycling calendar?
It's a communication. If you guys have something that you want to have changed, it would be,
I was asking that question because sometimes it's happened in the past years, when budgets come, we add a recycling, extra recycling or something, and just, is there anything of that coming up in the budget?
There's no plan to increase or decrease recycling at this time.
And then kind of one glaring item is the week of Christmas and the week after, there's no recycling. And boy, Christmas is the week that you'd really think you want to have recycling that week and the week following.
Unfortunately, we do not have the staffing to be able to serve recycling on a short week. So because those 2 weeks do have holidays in them, so the week of Christmas and the week of New Year's have holidays, so we only are here for 3 days. So we can't get around the city in those 3 days for recycling.
Okay, well, that's good. So if somebody asks one of us aldermen, we know that we can't staff it those weeks, because you go out to the city garage that week and you're half a block away from that dumpster. Thanks.
Alderman Nichols.
Thank you. We acknowledged there was a snafu earlier this year with our schedule, so I promised I would ask someone who contacted me about that to learn a little bit more about why that happened or how that happened and what we're doing to prevent that from happening again.
What happened with that was, I'm not entirely sure who did it, but someone printed out an older version of a recycling calendar that we had since changed and used that as an official calendar. And then we had two calendars out there that, should not have ever happened. By having this, in this packet, and then also making sure that we have a date on the recycling calendar and, hopefully not having to update it at all, we should be able to avoid that situation again.
Okay.
It was an embarrassing situation. It was something that we don't want to go through again because it really did, have a lot of, people angry and not happy with the city. So we are trying to avoid that, and open communication is always the best, so.
Thank you for thinking of strategies to avoid that happening again. And you mentioned that holiday weeks are usually the hardest ones, the ones you try to avoid. And in looking at this calendar, it appears that most of the holidays, or that all of the major holidays have been avoided. The only one that popped into my mind, and I'm not sure if it's really a holiday, is Easter Sunday, which is the 21st. And there's recycling pretty much the month of April.
Because there's no employee day off for Easter, there's no Good Friday or the day after Easter off for a paid holiday, we can staff those full weeks. So it's really when the holiday is a paid holiday for employees, where we would have a short week, 4 or 3-day week, those are the ones that we can't staff for recycling.
Good to know. Thank you.
Alderman Ted Grady.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Maybe, it's a nice calendar, everything's on here, but maybe you'd want to put the time of when the recycling area is open, because that's open pretty often, and they can just bring, if they have excess stuff during the holidays, they know that they can come and put their recycles in there.
And that would be some of the information that would be included with that calendar that we send out.
Alderman Taylor.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This document here, we heard earlier about our website. Is this easy to find on our website?
Yes, if you go to the Department of Public Works website, you can find that document fairly easily. You just click on, I believe it's recycling and refuse, and I believe that you can even search on your own, on your specific property as to see whether you are A or B week. So there's actually a search function where you type in your address and it'll tell you A or B.
There's something that, you go to Department of Public Works, there's something that leads people to that. And I don't know if a lot of people would know that you would go to Department of Public Works either, so.
Yep.
I don't know if it's on the overall city calendar, if it comes up, maybe there should be something on that front page that says other calendars or something, just to make it easy for the public.
Mayor Merkes.
On the opening page of the website, on the pull down, there is a topic called Find My Recycling Day or Find My Refuse Collection Day or something like that. And you can choose that and then type in your address, and it'll actually create a custom calendar for you that's not as difficult to understand as this one that I still can't figure out. But it'll actually create a custom calendar for your particular address.
Alderman Rapala.
Thank you.
You just turned it off. Hold on.
Oh,
Don't touch it. Do not touch it.
I won't
Go
touch
ahead.
it. All right, thank you. Josh, just one of the things, everything looks good on here. Just when, say January 1st, look at that, you got it boxed in as a.
That's my birthday.
Hey, excellent. Well, that's why, yeah, holiday. One of the things you had on previous calendars was when would your garbage be picked up? You follow me? Not the recycling, but when would your garbage be picked up? So on Tuesday, if your garbage is whatever picked up on Tuesday, it'll be picked up on Wednesday, or would it be picked up on that Monday? You follow me? The day before, the day after the holiday?
It's a different calendar, so I don't have that I believe it's picked up the following day. So if
Okay.
it's supposed to be on Monday, it would be on Tuesday.
Okay. Okay, so it can't be on all incorporated in one calendar?
There would be too much information on one calendar for that.
Okay, all right. Okay, gotcha. Thank you.
Is there any other discussion? Seeing none, let's move on over to action items. Action item number 1 is the street use application for the Menasha High School Homecoming Parade on Friday. Can I have a motion? Alderman Ted Grotti.
I'll move for the motion for the street use application for the Menasha High School Homecoming Parade, Friday, September 21st, 2018, at 5:30 PM till 6:15 PM.
Second.
We have a motion and a second by Alderman Tom Grotti. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, can we take roll call?
Motion carried on roll call 8-0.
Moving on to action item number 3 is the street use application for the hometown Halloween, Thursday, October 25th, 2018, from 3 to 7, put on by the City of Menasha Farm Fresh Market. Do I have a motion? Alderman Ted Grotti.
Thank you, Chair. I'll move for a motion for the street use application of the hometown Halloween, Thursday, October 25th, 2018, 3 PM to 7 PM, City of Menasha Fresh Farm Market.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a second by Alderman Nichols. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, can we take roll call?
Motion carried on roll call 8-0.
Action item number 4 is a payment for Donald Hippis and Sons, the Menasha Utilities and City of Menasha 2018 Water Main and Sanitary Sewer Reconstruction, MCM number M0002-9-17-00839 for $71,198.25, payment number 5. Do we have a motion? Alderman Ted Grotti.
Thank you, Chair. I'll move for the motion of the payment for the Don Hippis and Sons Incorporated, Menasha Utilities and City of Menasha 2018 Water Main and Sanitary Sewer Reconstruction, MCM number M0002-9-17-00839, and a payment of $71,198.25, payment number 5.
We have a motion. Is there a second?
No, second.
A second by Alderman Tom Grotti. Director Radomski, do you have anything to add to this?
This is the sanitary sewer relay project and water main projects that's been going over on Broad Street. They are pretty much done with, or they are done with the portion between Taco and Milwaukee. They are currently working between Milwaukee and Racine. So this is payment for the sanitary portion. There have been payments made for the water portion, but those were approved by Menasha Utilities. That's why this is payment number 5 and not payment number 1.
Thank you. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, can we take roll call?
Randy.
Motion carried on roll call 8-0.
Last thing on the adjournment is adjournment. Do we have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Well, we have a motion and a second by Alderman Tom Grotti. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We are adjourned.